Good night, guys. Thank you everybody for showing up. We may need to figure out a different schedule time because of the football season. So we'll see if we start a little bit later or a little bit earlier next week's, so everybody can enjoy the games and also participate of the stream. I just wanted to remember everybody about the competition. The World Trading Competition is the deadline to sign up is on the 12th. And for those that sign up on our team, which I'm going to leave the link right now in the chat, we are going to be doing preparation every day of the competition, only for those that are going to participate. And not to get too much into, because we have the description in the chat, we're going to have a lot of prizes and it's going to be very interesting. So let's get to it. I'm going to start with the futures, and after that we're going to go to the stocks. So ES has been hanging around and rejecting that zone that we talked about is right here. I posted as the key resistance zone is here, and try once, twice, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and couldn't break it, but it's still doing those higher lows. This is a 4-hour candle, so let's see if this can keep squeezing and push to retest to test the high of this zone, and then maybe do a back test on the bottom and push through to the 3000s. Now let's check intraday. We have our main daily zone level at 29.8050, and we need to stay above that to remain bullish for the day. So ideally, spend a consolidation period in between here, like a channeling, and then push through here, reject, come back down, maybe bounce, do a breakout retest from this level here, and then push through. So remember, it needs to keep above 29.8050 for it to remain bullish. And then let's see if we have retest. It needs to hold. We need to push, then hold this back test. As you can see, every time it pushed, it couldn't hold it. So for it to go above and retest these highers and then go to 3000, it really needs to back test and prove this as support. And then we can go and do maybe something like this and then push to the 3000s. If we fail to hold, we also have support. Let me get a pivot color borrowed. Let's see, ROKU. There we go. I really wanted a darker one, but I'll take this one for now. So we have this level here, this last week's pivot, where it proved to be very significant. So if we break here, there's going to be that little last chance to bounce like it did here. Reject, bounce from here, reject, bounce from here, reject, bounce from here. So we'll see. So you can even say that maybe the downside line in the sand is going to be this 29.70, 29.76. And our key zone again is 29.8610, 29.90.83, and 29.92.85. If we break above that, we get a small speed bump in 29.98, and this is going to be the next key resistance, which is 3005 to 2005.91. Let's check. Natural gas. So natural gas was a perfect dip buy here on this very important level. It was just perfect regarding our drawing. This drawing we did last Sunday prep. So what we wanted was a push through, retest, push through, reject here. You see how perfect it rejected, came back down, back test here, pushed, and this was a bigger push than we were expecting at first, but it came back down and back test here, where was the dip buy level, and a push here again, and now we way up there. We are inside our next zone, which is right here. Right here. Well, actually we failed. We pushed through inside the zone, failed to hold. Now it's just a rinse and repeat situation. It needs to hold this 2.50 to avoid a deeper pullback. If we can hold above it, we're probably going to see, let me draw. So we have the impulsive move. It needs to hold here. And then if it can't reject this. If it can reject this, it has a good chance that it's just going to go like here. But if it can't push back into the zone, hold the back test, then most likely we're going to have another breakout. Let's see, intraday. So here you can see exactly what I was talking about. Push inside that zone, it couldn't hold. Went back down and back test that and couldn't go. So now we are trying to test these zones here. This purple line is yesterday's Friday's highs. So this can create a little intraday zone for us with that 2.501, which is 2.5. So this is going to be our key resistance. Key support, and then we need to bounce from here. If we can hold this, then most likely we're going to retest this zone, bottom of the zone here. And if we fail to go there, it's going to have that short setup that we like. So that's something to keep an eye on. It gapped up very nicely into the zone, but it couldn't hold so far. So let's see if we can hold this 250 and push, give another breakout push. Let's check oil, and after we check futures, we're gonna start checking the stocks. You see that's the pivot I have been talking about, the 5502, and we had that news breakout from here down here, had pushed through and went back there to back test it, which was a perfect buy entry. If you were watching, if you had the level marked, we have been watching this level for maybe 2-3 months. It's been a while. It has been it's a very important level. That's the main yearly pivot, which is the strongest pivot on the board. So every time our stock is near that pivot, we have all eyes on it, because something's going to happen. Either if it's on a very steep downtrend, maybe that's where it's gonna reverse. And that's where we capitalize many stocks, watching the main yearly pivot. If it's on a run, it's on a bull run, maybe that's also the time for a pullback, and then we short. Let's check intraday to give us more hints on where we can go this week. The weekly main is all the way down here at 55.75. So on the week, it still is on a bullish territory. It's gapping up above many levels. It would be nice if we can hold above this what is this level? 50. One second, let me change this real quick so I can give you the exact numbers. Is the 56.73, 56.79. So we need to hold that. The last line of defense, I will even give it a little bit here on Friday's main pivot, which is 56.50-ish, for it to hold. If we can't hold that, we're gonna retest this 56.24, 56.17, where the main daily zone is. And as you can see, this pivot has been very important through the last days. So if we dip there, that's a good spot to watch for dip buy. Just watch for your favorite signs of buying activities, either a candlestick pattern or a level 2. Just find the signs around this area here. And the last one, let's check gold. So we couldn't hold above this zone here. And we have over here. Oops, let's change that color right here. So we couldn't break and hold above that 1561.10. And now we're back testing. We actually are lower than this. The last line of defense is this purple line, which is 1512.50. And the key resistance is 1516, 50, 15, 20, 70. So it needs to break above that to test this level around here, which is going to be right here. This is the next key. Oops, wrong tool. I zoom in. There you go. Right here. This is the next price target in case we break above here. If we lose this pivot and we can't hold, it's almost a tell that we are going to retest here. This is the main monthly pivot, a brand new pivot for this month of September. And this is the top of a strong area we had before, right here. So this is a very nice level to watch for dip buy. If we can come down here, I would definitely put all my eyes on it. I even gonna let me put an alert so I don't miss at or below. So this is gold. You can play JNUG if you're bullish, JDST if you're bearish. You can play GLD options. So yeah, set mine when it gets close to there, I'm gonna be notified. so I can keep my eye on it. That's a very important level, and I'm interested in that. We can even put, if you want, above this one, but I really want this dip, to be honest. So we'll see. It's holding this key level here. If he holds, then we're gonna go up. Now let's see intraday. Oh, it's trading below the daily. So we are buried on the bearish territory for the day on gold. And as you can look at that, it's in confluence with the top of the zone. Gold is in confluence with the top of the zone. Hey Lob, what's up? Thank you for showing up. So what I was saying, oh yeah, so we're testing this key level here, the 15, 12, 50 on gold. If we hold this, we need to push through. The problem I have with it is that we are below the main daily pivot and below this key zone. So if we can't, if you come here, it has a high probability we're going to reject it unless we came. Let's do some scenarios. So we push for reject. If we can't hold the back test on this level, then we can have some consolidation maybe here, or we have just an impulsive move to break through. This is an intraday level right here, so we may have a rejection, then we test, and then push. And then this is gonna be the key zone that couldn't, that has to break above the next key zone right here. Let's make it bigger right there. And if we can't break above this, then I'll be waiting for it down here. So I have my alert set if it goes below, and I'll be looking for a dip buy sign for me to get it over here. Now let's start with the stocks. Let me remove this. Actually, let's keep, no, that's fine. I can always come back to that. Okay, first one I have is ENDP. See, this is what I was talking about, the pivots. This is not the main yearly pivot, but it is a yearly pivot. So it's a strong level. We always want to keep an eye on it. So how do I dip by those things, right? I have a rule. If it's at a key level like this, either I buy on a sign that is by activity, either level 2 sweeps or a pattern, candlestick pattern. And if it's below it, I'll wait for the next level. So we are waiting for a reclaim of this level or a dip below it to the next level to consider a dip buy. So if on this one, for example, right here, it dipped below, but it never reached the key level, so we didn't have an entry here. But once we push through, you see the back test right here. That would be a great sign. If you like to play breakouts, you can play on the break above over here on this candle. But I personally am not a breakout trader, so I'll be waiting for that setup. And again, this is a 4-hour chart, so it may have the retest here on a 50-minute, for example, but on the 4-hour chart, if you're trading 4-hour charts, then this will be your entry right here, and we push all that way. So where we are going now, let's mark this pivot right here, and that's going to be our key support zone already in there. Let's move to our intraday. Oops. Actually, let's mark already the other pivots that are important. Like this one here. This one is important. You see the back test and everything happening there. So we are interested in this. We came back down, reclaimed, retested, pushed through, bounced from here, failed, came back and couldn't hold, and we came down. So this is an important level for us. If you want, you can even mark this pivot. We didn't have any activities there, but we have these lows of these candles here. So it may be in play for next week. So let's check it out, what we can see. So this is Monday right here. This is our main weekly pivot and the main dailies. So we're trading above it. We're trading above the daily and above the weekly. So this is going to be our key support zone right here. 299 to 313. We want this to hold in case we dip down here. So if we don't gap up, we wanted to hold the back test and then a push. If you enter here on the bottom on this zone here, the stop has to be a little bit lower. You could say, since you have this pivot from last week here, you could put a stop a little bit lower, maybe 288. So calculate your risk based on your stop loss. So your stop loss is going to be 11 cents. Calculate how much you are willing to risk and how many shares you can grab with that risk. So if we push, this is our, oops, what I click, activity trader. This is that key zone right there. So you can see we have a lot of congestion on this higher 3s 4 area. We have this 361, 372, then the 390 and 401. Let me see here again. Just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Have this quarterly pivot, which is going to be inside this 4, so it's fine. I'm going to mark it just so you guys can see. I'm actually going to get, it was AMRN the other week we used, there were a lot of pivots for us. I just want to borrow some colors. So I am going to mark this pivot here. And it's going to be inside the zone, but I want to know that it's there. You see it's right there inside the zone, which confirms that it's going to be, that's going to be a tough area to break right here. So if you're swinging this from Thursday, I don't know, maybe Friday, just watch for those areas. If you want to trail stop, just watch this as your stop loss. Remember, you always can get back in if we reclaim this, or if we go lower to another key support level, right? Which will be, let's say if we dip to 64, to 64 to 47, maybe you want to keep an eye on it. But why would you hold from 2, let's say we enter here 3, from 3 to 260, right? That doesn't make any sense. So have your stop loss right here, and if it doesn't hold, then you just cut it. And if it pushes through, make sure to take partials on our key zones, which is here. If we break 4, we're gonna hit this 439, 450. So just keep an eye on those. Keep taking partials, partials, partials. The last thing you want to happen is that you're the last person standing up on the wheel, on the chair dance game, right? Remember that game that the music is playing and everybody has to run to the to the chair. You don't want to be the person standing up, right? So when you realize this thing is just dumping and you are holding your bag, you don't want that to happen. Just take partials, which minimize your risk, and it gives you more patience for your trade to work, right? And remember, you can always add back in. If it holds, okay, let me do an example. Let's say we push to here, which is a key zone, and you take a partial and you come back down to retest this breakout level here, and you see it's holding, right? You see, and you have this zone, and you want to wait and see what happens here, and you say it's consolidating, and you see a lot of buyers stepping in, and you decide to get back in. So you get back in, add back in your position, and then you take another partial here. And if it holds and push, then you are doing good, right? You did good. You take another partial and you rinse and repeat. There is no need to hold the entire position to get good trades. Now, what else? We have ANET, ANET. Oh, see, that's that pivot we were talking about. That's our big orange, the main yearly pivot. That's gonna be trouble. Okay, let's borrow this yearly pivot and let's mark it up. That's 237.05. It's probably not gonna be able to be exact, but maybe I can do it over here. 237.05. Oh, I saw 5 there. There we go. Now I'm happy. So this is gonna be rough, and you have this quarterly. If you zoom in here, you see this quarterly pivot from last quarter. So it's a double zone right there, and that's why we keep rejecting it. You see how it gapped above it on this one here, and it couldn't hold. It just sold off. So there's a lot of sellers in these areas here. Let me see. Let's mark a top for it. Let's grab this one here. I need this one. Let's mark it right here. And I want a quarterly. Let's mark the quarterly pivot right there. Perfect. I want to mark this one too. Not that color though. This one. All right. So what we want to happen, if you're bullish on this, you really want to push above this 237.05, which is our key resistance. Now the key support is going to be all the way down here to 231.69. So this is going to be the plan. If you're bullish, you want to break and hold over here. You could have an early entry if we manage to break and hold this 235.66, and then you keep it tight and take a partial here in case we reject and come back down, and keep a stop loss break even on the rest. So you have a few scenarios you can follow on this. I'm gonna mark this. So this is gonna be our last line of defense right here. You can even give it a little bit more if you want, just because of this last week's pivot. 231.20. I really don't have that color. So this is our last line of defense. If it dips there, keep an eye on it. I'm gonna mark with blue and then I'll change to gray. Keep an eye on this zone here for dip buy. If we have a strong sell to that level, if we don't have, watch for this 235.66 and then this 237.05 to 237.31. If we have a push through again and can't hold, watch for the nice short setup. If we hold, we are going to be hitting these levels right here near 240, which is going to be our next key resistance. This is the main monthly pivot. So we're bearish on the month until below this level here. Right now we're bearish on the year if we can't break and hold above 237.05. So that would be the plan. CSX. So CSX is back testing this breakout level from here, which is in confluence with the main monthly pivot and this week's main weekly pivot. So that's going to be an interesting area for a deep buy on CSX. I'm going to mark this pivot here. Oops, that's not the right tool. That's going to be our next zone right there. So we need to hold this here to be able to test over here. Let's check it out. We're trading below the daily, so we need to break above it. So maybe we're gonna have our dip buy. Keep an eye on it. 67.13, 67.25. Look how bounced there Friday. If you were watching this stock and had the pivot, you had a nice win there. So we really need to push above the 67.75, which is going to be our key resistance. We can even mark this level here. Oh, I can't do it. You guys already know me enough to know that I get sick if I put the wrong color. I need a, I know who has it. BYND has my pivot. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, BYND. Let's mark this level here. No, not this one. Right here. And again, the wrong tool. Marking this level. So this is going to be key resistance, key support. So 67.75, 67.85, key resistance. Key support 67.13, 67.25. Let's go to the next one. So if we break above this, remember we have that key zone, that's 68.97. and then 69.57. We have ATVI. That was a nice push Friday, end of the day. This is a weird activity though. If you guys see here, maybe some news hit after hours, because we closed right here at 47.98, and then we have all this crazy stuff going on all the way to 50. That's very weird. Let's see if we have any news. No, I don't see any news Friday. Oh, here we go. Etsy is joined the S&P Mid Cap 400. 6:25 p.m. Yep, that's what caused that spike. So we're definitely gonna watch that. Monday has a catalyst. It pushed above our weekly pivot for next week, which is right here. So this is the key support, 49.34, 49.39. And you can say your key resistance is going to be this pivot from last week. This one. Oops, almost did the same mistake. I'm glad I noticed. 50.12 right there. So key support 49.34, 49.39. Key resistance 50.12, 50.48. And then after that, we get the 51s. That's going to be nice. Yeah, so let's keep an eye on that. Let's try not forgetting. So many stocks. CMG. Oh, guys, that pivot is giving money every single day. I was telling you guys that's 2 weeks, I think. It's 2 weeks. Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, has been 2 weeks. That's 842.31. I posted about it and just said keep an eye on it. Every time it gets there, it kind of can't hold. So you can't do that. You could have done that, the push through can hold situation and then short many times. And this was Wednesday. It happened again Wednesday, and this was on the 6th. That's Friday. Friday happened the same thing. Oh my gosh, why I was not watching CMG. Look at that. You could have short that pop on the open twice, guys. Look, gapped up, couldn't hold, short. Push, can't break, short. And this is the main weekly, so you take profits there. And then we test the main daily, couldn't hold, short, cover near the weekly pivot. So that was nice. We're gonna keep watching that level. The next weekly pivot is at 834.53, so we're gonna have a zone with the last week's pivot, last week's main pivot. So this is gonna be our key support zone, 833.34, 834.53 on CMG. Our key resistance is gonna keep being this one here, but since we are trading below the daily, are we? 836. Yep. So if we open below this daily pivot, then this is going to be our first key resistance. If we trade above, that's going to turn into a key support, which is pretty obvious, right? If it's above, it's support. If it's below, it's going to be resistance. Somebody's calling me. No. Just checking. Somebody's pulling a message in the chat room. I lost my screen. Okay, here we go. So we're still bearish on CMG. Short term, guys. It's short term bearish until we break below here. Because this could be just a consolidation phase, right? Look at that. It could be just doing a consolidation to push through. So you have to be careful. CMG is a fast mover, guys. And that's why I like it. I don't like to wait forever for the trade to work. I just if just tell me if I'm wrong or right away. I don't have no patience on those big stocks like that. Just let me know, am I right or wrong, and let's move on to the next trade. So above that, if we can break, we have 845, and obviously the 850, which is the mental number. We rejected almost there last time, 848.81, and then after 850, that's gonna be one heck of a squeeze on CMG. If we can break 150 and hold one, you can say 150, 150. Oh gosh, my brain. 850, 855. If we can break, you can squeeze very quickly to this 866, 868. So it's gonna be interesting. Monday is at a key support level, either downside or upside. So those are the trades you're looking for, because they're going to move fast, either down or up. Let's check Snap. Snap. Let's watch this level here. I'm marking this pivot, guys, because it had all these up and downs on it, and it had this rejection, which was at almost at the same level where this pivot is, and we had all this interaction after. So that's an interesting level for me. So I'm going to mark it. That was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago main pivot, weekly main pivot. And let's mark this one. All right. So we have our key resistance right there, 1674. Key support is going to be the 1656, 16, you can even give to this one, 1664. This is the blue line is the previous close, and this kind of burgundy line is the previous high of the day. So we have a zone here. This is going to be key support. If we lose that, we're going to retest almost a guarantee these levels here. That's the main daily and this previous monthly main pivot, 1637, 1642. As always, our last line of defense is going to be the main weekly pivot right here. If we dip there, keep an eye on it for a buy opportunity. 1619, 1628. And if we push from here, dip buy, push. So let's say we hold this, push. Our next key zone is going to be up here. We can make it 2. We have a small one here, and that one I don't want to be too big. So let's split in 2. 1697, 1698, and 1709, 1718. Let's check shop. All right. Mark here. Borrow this color. Mark. Key support zone right there. There's our key support. I want them. I should have marked before. I changed the color, but my brain is just not straight. Let's mark this. Oops, didn't go right there. So we have defined our zones. Let's check what we have. So, what do you guys think? We are bearish until we break above here. Yeah, that's going to be a strong level. It has been multiple days main zones. Which color I have? This one. Where's BYND? I want to mark here. That color is so faded. I need to change that because I can't see anything. So this is going to be first key resistance, which is, I can't read it. 383.86, 385.52. And the next one is going to be $3, almost $4 up, which is going to be here. 388.95, 390.89. And this is your key support right here. So what we can see, maybe what we can see Monday, is a push from here, retest, fail, and then go back down. If we break above this, there is a high chance that we're going to reject this one and then back down. So if we come here, we can grab a short and take a partial at 385.50 and see if we can break this and give that setup that we love, which is the push through, can't hold, and then short. So let's see if we can get that Monday. This is a very strong support, guys. You see here, this zone is very important, very, very important. So it really needs to hold. It failed one time and was able to push back up. So I'm not sure if it's going to hold again if we break it back down again. Maybe we can get a pullback to these levels here. Maybe test the main monthly of September, which is way down here at 369.46. That would be a very nice trade for us. So maybe if we can do like a spread, this is Lob's area right here. Maybe we can do a spread, maybe a calendar. Let's see. So we are projecting this. If fails, gonna go 369-ish. Maybe we can do a calendar at 370. Let's see how much it costs. 398. Why this thing is so expensive? Maybe just the spread is cheaper, less risk. So we can do Put spread maybe. I didn't press the right buttons. 130 is a better. What is our max? 370. So it's a 1 to 3, which is not bad. It's just I like more though. Am I greedy? Am I being greedy, Lob? 372. I wish I could see all my information, my Greeks from here. It's hard to do it. We can check that later. But if you don't want to take too much risk, just do a spread. Do a spread on this. Maybe grab further out. It's so expensive, this thing, man. Very expensive. So yeah, spread will be better to go about it, in my opinion. Sell out of the money spread, like a call spread. Bear, either side. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, maybe we can capitalize on this premium being too high. How much is the IV? 50%. Oh my gosh, yeah. I think selling spread is a better way to go about it. An Ari Condor. Yeah, then I don't know. 'Cause the problem with this thing is that moves so fast, and the float is very low. It can really go very far both ways. So I'm always very concerned in doing those spreads that it has to be in a defined zone for it to work. Mostly if I am selling the premium, but I don't know. You are the expert on the option spread, so. Oh, they're pumping hard. Yeah. I'm very interested in Shop. Shop is always a good trader. So we can go for that in the chat, find a good spread. So yeah, for now we are bearish. Set up wise, we're bearish on it. Although it could be a telling that is holding this zone right here. So we may have a push and reject, but be careful, could be a short-term pullback. So you have to take a partial if you want to bet on the downside. Now, if you want to bet on the upside, you definitely want this to hold on this zone here. Yes, it's very strong, very, very strong stock. But look at these candles though, Lob. This is so, have a very strong rejection Friday. These are 4-hour candles. You see the difference between these ones here. This was a market open. It had the immediate push up. Maybe the clock ran out, but right now we're inside. We closed inside the zone. All the other time, we just came here and just pushed through. This was on that new stuff, so I don't count that one. But every time it got to the zone, you see here, it had an immediate buyers waiting for it, but not this time. So I just keep an eye on it and keep it tight both ways, maybe. I just feel like maybe we're gonna have a bigger pullback this time. Not like the dive type of pullback, but I'll see a pullback to here. Not a bad thing. You have this previous breakout level here, and you have the main monthly pivot. So it'll be nice if we can get this level, and then we can load on the calls or shares, and then ride it back up and play this trend line break here. So that's something to watch on shop. Let's check Roku. Yeah, Roku, I was talking to, yep. Yeah, Roku. Roku is one of my favorite stocks. So Roku, if you see on the daily chart, this is very interesting. This is a bullish engulfing candle. So we closed on a bullish engulfing candle Friday. And I would not be surprised if we see a gap up. We just need to break above this 170, 110, which is that monthly pivot. So if we can gap above it and back test really quick pre-market, and then we're just gonna go on this, in my opinion. Just remember, this doesn't show on the daily chart because it's pre-market, but don't forget that the high is not here. That's why I use the 4-hour candle. So I know where is the real high and the real low of things. The real high of Roku all time is right here at 173.21, which is right there on those pivots here. But it is a bullish setup. So I'm going to keep an eye on it to the upside on Monday, but not ignoring that is a pivot here that it needs to break, and it reject there. So it really needs to break here. This is going to be our key resistance. Once we break and hold this, most likely it's just going to get, just doesn't matter this, in my opinion. If we can break and hold this and show support, we're probably just going to go. We're going to have a small speed bump there, but in the end, it's just going to go. So what do we need? We need a break and hold. Break and hold of this. Test, maybe bottom of the zone and push to higher levels. If we gap up, let's say we gap up here, we really want to hold the back test. I really don't want to see this losing the support on the gap up, because most likely this is going to happen if that's the case. So remember these levels. The level is 170.97, 171.10. Actually, let's get this lower here. 170.85, 171.10. Let's get those set. And this is the first dip buy level to watch, which is 168.56, 168.73. You have the previous close right here at 169.86, which is also considered a pivot. And you have this one here that was very important. So you have a midpoint zone right here that it could defend it. So keep an eye on that as well. And that's going to be 169.50, 169.86. Let me see. Now, if we break this, guys, we're going to have our last chance to hold it, which is going to be the quarterly pivot, the 167.56. That's going to be our downside line in the sand. So watch for that. And you have the 166 after, right here. The main weekly is at 163.67, so it's way down there. Where is the next weekly pivot? Just so we know how overextended we are. 177. Yeah, so it's not overextended at all. We're still trading between both pivots. So yeah, so that's what to watch on Roku. Let's see if we can grab upside first. So our first idea is upside on Roku. And then if we can't hold this, we flip, take a partial here, and then we see if we can go all the way down here first. Okay, I think sounds good plan. ATVI. This is interesting too. So someone somewhere on the trading board is seeing this as a flag. I'm pretty sure. Somebody's seeing this as a flag. I can see it. It's just too abstract for me. But it can be. It's all what you can believe. It happens. So you have, I see a pivot. That's what matters to me. 54.28. That's going to be. So our last line of defense is going to be here. 53.58, 53.87. So all the buyers are hanging out here and all the sellers are hanging out here. So it needs to break 55 and needs to hold this pivot, 54.28. The main daily is at 54.62. So that's right where it closed. So it's going to depend a lot of what's going to happen. If it's going to gap up or if it's going to just don't do anything pre-market. We have to see what happens. If it just open without volume, if it doesn't have volume pre-market, just open and push, which looks like it is what usually happens. Usually doesn't have too much volume pre-market. Then watch for push to this 55. If we can break it, then we can take a nice short, at least back to here. So about what's 40-50 cents. It's probably good for shares than more than shares and options if that's the only move we're gonna have. But depending on what trade you take on options, it may be also a good scalp play. Just keep an eye on it. And 55, if you break 55 and hold, then we're gonna get another squeeze on it. The range is not awesome, but it can still be a good trader. Mostly if it's holding this pivot here and it actually is a bull flag, then we're gonna probably test again this 56.60. Downside, then it needs to break this. If it breaks that, most likely, is this all-time high? No. Oh, we have a very important level here that I didn't notice before. Let me grab that pivot again. That's why, guys, you always look to the left. That's last year's main pivot, yearly main pivot. Didn't want it to be like that, but I'll take it. So let's see what happened there. I just couldn't hold. They had that massive gap up to this 56.55, and it just couldn't hold. Went back down right here and just flushed. So that's gonna be our key zone then. It really needs to break above this 55.63. If you go long, that's gonna be a target right there. If he gets there, take partials. And if he can break and hold, we test 56, 55. That's why it's good. Imagine if we didn't look back, we wouldn't have that level to watch for a partial. Doesn't this look like a giant cup and handle? I mean, cup right here. Maybe we're gonna form a handle. Let's put the daily chart real quick. Yeah, it does look like a giant cup right here. So we need to have a handle, and this is the best place to have a handle, which is the pivot, right before the gap close breakout. So maybe where we can go. Can we test this? That would be awesome if we could test this lower level here. 53, 58, 53.87. So let's see if we can get a dip here. If we get a dip here, keep an eye on it. It could be our handle, and then we push to 58.31. So that's on watch right there. I like that. I like this one. Let's keep an eye on it. MBOT. Oh, this one is going to be a simple one. Let me mark this. Oh, yeah, I'm the daily. I'll change. 678. But this is simple, guys. This is going to be simple. This is key support. Main weekly, yearly, main yearly. 644, 678. And you have, just to add a little bit more of importance to that zone, the main daily zone. Right there. That's all you have. Only main pivots right there. That's a very strong zone, and it needs to hold for another push. The key resistance is going to be the 758. What is this level? 750. And the next one is going to be right here. 791, 812. So if you're bullish on it, this is where you want to dip buy if it goes there and hold. Just look for signs, your favorite sign, candle, C pattern, level 2, anything you want that you're used to trade and it's your favorite reversal signs. Just watch here. And if you get long here, partial for sure here, and then here. Now you see how we reject there. It didn't quite got to the purple line, but it already showed that's going to be a rough area. So if we gap up, it needs to break above here, and the next levels we have is going to be 882, 919. Just checking real quick. 8A, matches with our zone here. 891 matches with our zone here. Okay, yeah, we're good to go. So let's make sure we have the mark. 882, 919, 791, 812, and this is the first key zone here, 758. And if you get to 10, it's not only the psychological number, it's also the quarterly and the monthly pivots. So watch for that. If we can't hold this, where we are going to? There's nothing but air here between here. It's probably just gonna go straight to 6. This was a strong push here. There's nothing there. So watch for 6 if we break that, and then 568, 570s, 652. Just making sure there's nothing in between. 612. There's something here, but it's right there near the 6. So we're gonna keep the plan the same. DOCU, DOCU. I don't even know why I marked this yellow, but it was an important area that I really liked. And I put a different color just so I remind myself of it. Um, it's struggling with this pivot zone right here. See? Struggling with that. Let's check a little bit this way. Let's mark this level. I don't want that color though. This one. Right there. And let's create a zone with this one here. Right there. So confirms that that's going to be a rough area. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay, so reject, reject, reject. Grinding up. So it's trading below this Monday. Q resistance is going to be 56.50, 56.83, and you can consider key support. Let me see right here. Our daily main zone is going to be our key support. So we're going to have a very tight range to have risk, which is great. 55.89, 56.03. The key zone to support. Key zone resistance zones 56.50, 56.83, and above that, this is where it needs to break, which is 57.48, 58.20, right there. If we can't hold this, we have this weekly pivot that it really had some impact last week. So let's keep an eye on 55 hold number as well. 55 hold number. What color do I have right now? Yeah, I'll leave it like that. I'll change later. Just keep an eye on that. And our main weekly is over here. That's the last line of defense. 5303, 5208. Last line of defense right there. If we break above that, what we have, I think we have that yearly pivot. Above that, we have that 60, 54, 60, 60 as key resistance. We have small bumps over here and here. But that's it. Let's see what we have. DLTR. No, looks good. Let me grab. Oh, there you go. I missed you too. What's mark over here? 110.50. And I want to mark a zone with it. Mark. I am torn about marking here, but I do like it based on the price action. Is that too big? Or no, there's only 70 cents here. I like this zone here. The reason I marked this, it has this previous month pivot, this main weekly pivot, and you can see all this interaction to this level before. And you have here too, so you have a lot of stuff going on around that area. So I really like that as our key resistance. So this is our key resistance right here, 109.74, 110.50. Our key support, it can be there's so much support here, so much stuff going on. But if you want to keep it tight, we can just, let's mark this 1012. Right here, 1012, 108.12, 108.84 is key support. Last line of defense is going to be down here. So close from each other. That bothers me a little bit. There's too much going on down here. So we're most looking for long on this one because there's too much going on down here to hold the support. You break for like 50 cents, then you have another one. 50 cents, you have another one, another one, and another one. So let's see if we can catch along on DLTR, at least to this yearly pivot, which is 111.72. Let me grab this one. 111.72. 111.72. Oops. 111.72 right here. So that's gonna be the first target for the LTR. Maybe we can get a deep buy, which better than, I don't like to play breakouts, but let's see if we can grab a deep buy to this zone. If we can't, then let's look for a setup like this, a push to this zone, top of the zone, and then we see signs of a consolidation bottom of the zone for us to push. So it gives us a better risk reward than grabbing here on a breakout and then just go back to retest this, and we are underwater. If we can break 1172, our next target would be 112.94, 113.22. So it has nice range. Let's check QURE. Yeah, so this stock is one of Dave's swing trading. Our analysis Friday said that it was going to retest here at this zone, and we are almost there. We have an analysis pre-market, and we really like it to go down here to watch for the buy signs for us to buy over here. And what happens that it pushed to this zone here, this pivot. It couldn't hold and gave that nice short setup. And I was watching at the open, but I was watching also other stocks. I wanted to short, but I hesitated to short it because it was squeezing too hard. But you had just to follow your plan, right? I have this level. I wanted to short between here, 48.51, 49.27. And I just didn't pull the trigger, which happens to everybody. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to identify and fix the issue. So we'll look at the setup, right? So we push through. Let's say we missed that. I'd stop watching, but if I was watching, this was a very nice setup here on that back test. Remember, push through, can't hold test, and then go down. That's what we are looking every single day. And that was very perfect. That was just perfect right there. I wish anybody in the chat took that trade. I'll find out if somebody took it. That was a very nice trade. So we are reaching that zone, which is the key support zone. So why this is a key support zone? Let's check really quick what happened here. Look, you have a gap down, a gap up right here, gap close at 41.62. You have this previous yearly pivot at 42.44. Actually, it's this year's pivot, 42.44. And you have this quarterly pivot, which was the rejection from this high in 2018. So you have a lot of stuff going on here. If we can get it there, our risk is going to be very low. We can just cut it right below it. So let's watch and see if we can get a deep buy over here for us to short. Now, if we get a push, would you short it? That's the question. Before it gets there, would you short if you have a push? Looking at this chart, I would. If I can get a push to this 45, 46, 40, high 40, 45, 73, 46, 22 area that it can't hold, similarly to this setup here, I will consider shorting to this zone where I want to dip buy. So that's the first plan for Monday on QURE. Now, if it pushed too hard and it gets stopped out, just watch for a re-entry at this zone right here, 47, 71, 48, 51. We have the main weekly pivot there. We had all this rejection here from these past pivots. So this is going to be a tough area to break it right away. So if we push, squeeze all the way to here, I will be looking again for a short setup on this. And hopefully, I'm definitely going to take a partial here, just in case it holds and push. But if it doesn't hold, the rest of my shares are going to be taking out inside this zone here. So that's the main plan on QURE. Now, if we don't have a squeeze and we just go down there first, then I'll be switching for a buy first mentality. I want to watch this and see if we can hold as support. The last line of defense is going to be 39.72, 40.61. So you have 39.72, 40.19, 40.61, which forms a nice little zone, which can be our last line of defense right there. Let's check LCI. So LCI, I don't know if you guys remember last week. Let me actually keep the drawing. So LCI, our plan was right here. This was our key resistance. So, oh, Guy Gentile is pumping this? That's interesting. So this was our plan last prep session. This was our key resistance, but we're going to look for a short setup. So you short over here, it ran right here to the key support. The last line of defense was here. I don't think it ever got there, but it bounced on this level. So it took a partial here, of course, and it took a partial here. It got stopped out on the rest on break even if you wanted, which one it came back right here. Now look what happened once it broke and hold. Let me show you this. So push, couldn't hold, came back down. Push, couldn't hold, came back down. Push, now we hold right here, and look what happened. This thing just went crazy. It just went off reservation. Look at that. That's one heck of a pump, huh? So what we're looking for it Monday. Our key support is going to be 1276. I'm trying to get the number, 1283. This is our key support. Our last line of defense is going to be right down here, 1184, 1216. So if this breaks here, maybe you want to consider closing most of your position. And if you're looking like looking for more of a swing trade and you're adding to your position, like building a long-term position, then you can watch for a spot to add here. Just make sure it holds. And this is the main week yearly pivot. So yeah, this zone here is all important. It's going to be very strong if it gets there. Gotcha. And our main resistance is going to be right here. Now, I usually don't like to leave the monthly pivot out, but I think this is too tight right here because this is trading inside of it almost. So we can leave this as just so visual, but the key level to break is going to be this one here, which is this high and this pivot. Although this is a way stronger pivot than this one. Just keep that in mind. If we break that, the 15 is going to be one heck of a level. You also have a quarterly pivot there, so that adds a little bit more of a challenge to break. So what are you looking, if you're long, you want this to hold, maybe dip buy here. If it holds, sell some at this zone, and if it breaks, sell more here and see if you can get a bigger run. Now don't be greedy. This is already a big gain for this stock if you can get it. If it dips here, definitely consider a dip buy. Just don't try to be the first. Wait for your setup to happen. And I think that's it. I think we covered the scenarios. Yeah, okay. Tesla. All right, so key zone for key support zone is going to be 225.49, 226.42. Let's do that. Let's do this one as the last line of defense and set up this one as the key. It's so close from each other. I hate when that happens, but let's do it like that. I have a better idea. Let's do 226.42, 227.72, and this one down here is going to be our last line of defense. 224.97, 225.49, and key zone right here, 226.42, 227.04, 227.42, 227.77. So there's a lot of pivots in here. That's going to be a very important zone. Now resistance zone is going to be again that 230 right here, 229.80 to 30, 36. And if we break that, then we're going to have another problem right here at 231.73, 232.30, 232.21. So it hold Friday this very important zone. So the first thing you have to look at it, if we don't go anywhere pre-market, then we're looking for a long opportunity. If it gaps up, then it needs to hold this as support on a back test or break and hold this to go more. Checking CSCO. For me, it looks like Cisco wants to test that yearly pivot at 49.42. We're trading at 48.40, 48.84. I really like this level to form a zone. Not that color. Okay. So our main support is going to be the daily main pivots, 48.70, 48.74. We gap up above here, so it would be nice to hold this previous close line. We even have this from last week to consider. I am inclined to add that pivot to my zone. Go back behind. Let me borrow you. Marking this weekly pivot. And I'm going to increase the zone to include it. So 48.66, 48.7, 48.74 is going to be our key support. Our resistance is going to be the previous high of the day, which is 48.99. And then here 48, 13, 16, and 20. A break above that is going to take us to the yearly pivot where we think it can go. 49.92, 49.42, 49.46. Is that a gap? Let me change to the daily chart. Yep. So that's a gap. Once we break the yearly pivot and hold, we can have a setup to close this gap here, which is at around $50. So that's something to keep an eye on. CPRX. A lot of little stocks. They were very sleepy during a few weeks, but then decided all to run together. Just wanna see nothing here. Is this all-time high? I doubt it. Oh, maybe it is. 5, yeah. Let's check. I wanna just make sure. 20 years. Oh, wow. It is now. Almost. We had a spike here, and even though if I can consider that something happened here that sell very quickly on the quarterly pivot, but technically is not the all-time high. So let's mark this quarterly pivot that it rejected the first time. Move back to AMRN. $7.40.40. Let's see if there is anything else we need to mark. 5, where is it right now? 660. We can have this line here just to make sure we remember is a key support. Right here. There's gonna be key support on the way back. Yep. And this one as well. Just marking in case we dip there, we know there's some important stuff going on. There you go. Let me grab. Why you make my life so difficult? Roku. Roku is gonna help me. There we go. Roku. So that's gonna be our main, very important support zone in case we go back there. I'm not saying it's gonna go now. I just want to make sure we're ready and we don't have to look back all those years. Okay. So back to the train of thought. Let's see. There you go. It's pushing very strong. So it needs to hold 652, 655. If you want, you can even include the previous close line. So 652, 655, 660. And this is going to be your last line of defense. Right here, which is going to be 634, 642. Key resistance. We're gonna have 685, 693 on the break of previous high, which is 675. So this is gonna be our key resistance. If we break above that, oh, I forgot to include the yearly pivot. Sorry, guys. 708, right there. That's gonna be the tough one. So if we break 693, we're gonna hit our head right there, 708. And this is gonna be the rough one. 744, 753. Remember, this was that quarterly pivot that rejected way back then. So that's gonna be the big one. If we get there, just make sure, keep taking your partials on the way up. ZM. Let's see real quick, where is ES? Looks like we're trying to break through. Yeah, interesting. Let's see if we can get that setup we talk about. What we're talking, ZM. So we are testing the main quarterly pivot. Which is gonna be our key support. I know it's a little bit below it, but it's hanging in there. So this is our key support right here. Which is 85.36, 86.42. Key resistance is going to be 88.92. Can give it a little bit more, 89.35. So 88.92, 89.35. And above that, we're gonna have these 90s, the high 90, 90.90 to 92.54. Below it, if we break it, if we can't hold this, we're gonna look at 83.08 and then 80.29, 80.29, 81.50. Which most likely is gonna be, let's check on the high time frame. It's gonna be like our last, this 83 is actually very strong, guys. So keep an eye on 83 if it gets there. If you see here 83, 83, here come back down 83. But this 80.29 is gonna be our, this zone here is gonna be our last line of defense. If we break that, most likely we're gonna retest the 77.26. We have, what else? Tiffany just joined. Hey, Tiffany. So let's check. I only can check a couple of stocks. I think we are almost at 2 hours on this. So which one, pick two, Tiffany, between the ones you like. Can you guys hear me? My internet just dropped a little bit for a few minutes. Okay. Sorry about that. My internet dropped. I had to change to my other internet. So, Tiffany, I think we start this at 8, so it's almost 2 hours in. Pick 2 stocks, please. Pick just 2 of those, and we're gonna check real quick to end up with the SYMC. Okay. Let me delete this. All right, so we are getting back to this key zone right here. You see here from before. When I back up, bounce from there, and then just flush it and reject it here. Now we are in there. We went above it, rejected, and now we are inside of it. So it really needs to hold this time. You can even give it a benefit of the doubt. Let me delete this. And do your key support right here at the main weekly, which is 24.41, 24.57. And then if we hold this, we're gonna have this 24.78, which is gonna be a big zone, but we're gonna have this as your key resistance. What needs to happen this time around is that we can hold and push and hold. If we can do that, the next target is going to be 25.87, but the ultimate target is going to be this yearly pivot here, which is 26.32, 26.61, right there. If we can't hold this, then it can get a little bit ugly. Maybe retest this. Let me see. Yeah, it's hard to see here, but I would not play if it breaks under this. So if it confirms, you can even give it a little bit lower than that if you want to grab this price action here. See, you can maybe have a stop loss depending on where you grab it. Just make sure you calculate your stop loss, your risk and share size based on your stop loss. So watch this 24.33 as a stop loss if you grab inside this zone here. Let me see, what was the Costco, right? Costco. Yeah. But if we can break and hold this, the next target would be the 27.50. Costco. Lob, is there any stock you want me to check for you? So it is still doing our setup from last Sunday. This one didn't happen because it didn't reject. So we had our dip buy right here, and we have our push. So where is, oops, change. What it needs to happen? Ideally, we just wanted to push, right? Push and hit its head on the yearly pivot, where you should be taking most of your profits, which is 310.02. 310. Let me grab the pivot. So 310.02. So practically 310, which that's that big psychological number. Well, it is not working exactly what I wanted, but let's put 310. Oh, I think I got it. Yeah, let's do 310. I'm not gonna waste your guys' time trying to hit exactly the spot. So this is gonna be the key resistance, and that's the ultimate target on Costco, which is 308.90, 310.08. Now for that, to get there, we need to hold the 302.20 first. The last line of defense is going to be here near the 300, which is the main weekly right here. If we can push from here, would be nice. It's trading inside the previous close and previous high. So we pushed after market closed, it's trading inside of here. So you can also consider that as a key zone, which is 303.76, 304.64. Above that, you have a speed bump intraday, 306, 317, 306.17, 306.89. And after that, then we're going to hit that target. So that's the plan on Costco. You can short if it doesn't hold. Let's mark. I really wanted a darker pivot and a lighter pivot than this one, but let's mark it here so we can have a nice main day zone. 301.94, 302.20, right there. So that will be for Costco. Let's check real quick ES before we go. Just want to see what's happening intraday. Still hanging there. Let's see. I want to see details of it. If they can load for me. So look what happened. We pushed through that to that zone from the higher yesterday, Friday, and we retest the bottom of it just like we wanted. Now let's see if we can hold and have that push to the top of the zone. Let's see what happens. It really needs to hold this 29.8610. That would be nice to see. So let me know in the chat if this works out and how it works this during the night session. Thank you guys for joining the chat, the Sunday prep. Just a reminder, don't forget to sign up for the competition. We're gonna have a prep session for competition members every single day of the competition. It's gonna be 6 days only, and it's free to join. So that would be very nice. If we can hit a certain number of traders under our team, then we can have exclusive prizes only for us, which will be very nice. That's what I'm looking for, is to get those prizes for you guys. We're still gonna compete to the big pot, which is a 240,000 account and $6,000 voucher on Tradenet. But we really want that prize only for our team. That would be very nice to get. So let's try to sign up, share with everybody you know. It doesn't cost anything. They're just gonna call and verify you're a real person and know what trades means. So That's it, guys. The link is in the chat. I'm gonna post also on the YouTube description, and I see you all tomorrow morning for pre-market trading. Thank you so much. Take care.